my comments tomorrow marks the 80th anniversary of what's known as VE Day, Victory in Europe, the end of World War II, at least in the European part of theater. Now, growing up as a kid, I was a history nerd from the time I was a little kid, and possibly because I had 4 great uncles, 5 actually, who served in World War II, who I got to know a little bit before they passed, possibly because I had 2 grandfathers who were both involved in manufacturing or flying airplanes, not in the military, but books about airplanes, models of airplanes, pieces of airplanes, all over both houses. I got into World War II, I got into history, became a teacher for that reason. World War II has always been the era that I was always most familiar with. And so as I think about VE Day being 80 years ago, it's kind of fascinating for me because I grew up with men who fought in World War II, who were at D-Day, who flew missions over Germany, who were Marines in the South Pacific and the Philippines. I knew and had speakers from, veterans from World War II come into classrooms and organized a program that went for 20 years, allowing kids to ask questions of Bucks County citizens, residents, who liberated Paris or concentration camps, who survived, some pretty awful stuff, including being prisoners of war. The distance we've come and the few remaining veterans of that war, I think, is one of the things that concerns me most about where we are as a nation today, because when we lose those people, we lose those memories, we lose the history, we lose that touch of what led to the beginning of that war. It is, for someone who's spent a lot of time studying World War II, it is, there are definite parallels that I see happening, not nearly as great as what happened in 1920s Italy or 1930s Germany, but certainly, not too far away from being in the same ballpark. And so it's concerning, and it's something that I think all of us need to be more focused on. So I don't know how many World War II veterans are remaining here in Bucks County. There are probably a few. Obviously, they're in their late 90s, or some of the centenarians who we celebrate every year. But it certainly, I got to know many of them. I got to know a lot of World War II vets, and it's the history, the stories they told. It's sad to know that we're going to probably lost at this point, but let's not lose the big picture. Let's not lose the fact that this country, when it wanted to, when it became necessary, saved the world. And we did it working together, and we did it fighting for freedom and democracy, and we did it by leading the world and building alliances and focusing on what we could do using our power, our wealth, our knowledge, our strength to make the world a better place. May that be the lesson that we learn as we remember the end of the war in Europe tomorrow. So, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Aye.